We got a few people live. No time to waste. Let's get this thing going. Little pink houses, little John Cougar for you. All right, what we do have for you, speaking of America, good old made in the USA Selkirk paddles. The brand new, hot off the presses, the AMP series. We got the S2 here, and we got the Epic right here. We're going to talk about both of them tonight. And I'm going to tell you all about them. I know a lot of you are very curious about these new paddles. You know, you want to know, are they just hype? Is it just a new paint job? You know, they look pretty, sure. But do they play? That's the important thing. We're going to talk about both of these. We're going to talk about the new technology, what's new about these paddles, what's different about them, what works, what doesn't work. And let's get into it right now. And we'll talk about the differences too between this model and the previous model, the Selkirk Pro S1C. Now this is my current paddle of choice, but as of right now, this guy is kind of knocking that one out of the picture, okay? And I'll explain to you why. So let's take a look at the paddle. Selkirk once again offers these in, I guess about 4 or 5 different colors. Really sharp looking paddle. I mean, you notice it when you're on the court right away. Really sharp looking. The graphics, I don't know what they did with the graphics, but it's kind of like a translucent paint job. You could see kind of through. You could see the honeycomb inside a little bit. Pretty cool. So the look is really nice. The specs are 8.2 ounces average for the amped S2. The length is 15 3/4. The handle is 4 1/4 around, which is your normal standard size, grip size. They also come in, I believe you can order it in thin size or a little extra thick size. So Selkirk gives you a lot of options when you order. The first thing you'll notice when you pick up this paddle is the thickness of it. Now I'll show you it compared to the old paddle so you can see the difference. Now right here is the old paddle, right here is the new paddle. Now that gives you a pretty good idea of how much thicker it is. I mean, it's not a lot thicker. It's not going to be, you know, hard to maneuver. It's not going to be weird for you. You won't even, it won't be any kind of adjustment period needed. But what this thickness provides a lot of benefits, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. But let's talk about the face. The face is a brand new fiberglass composite face. It's called Fiberflex, and it's called something omnidirectional. I was told by the folks at Selkirk. I'm not sure what that means, but it sounds pretty cool. All I know is it works. The fiberglass composite face feels a little bit different from the prior fiberglass composite face of the old paddle. It's got the same power, but it feels softer, and that's probably due to the core. Now the core is called X5 polymer. honeycomb core. The thickness of it is really what gives you a lot of benefits. And the main thing Selkirk was going for here was, you know, in the past you had to decide, do I want a power paddle? Do I want a control paddle? And if you pick one, chances are you're going to give up something somewhere else. You know, you pick a powerful paddle, you're not going to have that touch around the kitchen. You pick a control paddle, you're going to be great around the kitchen, but then, you know, your overheads are weak, your ground strokes are weak, you can't hit passing shots with it. The whole idea behind this new paddle is no more compromise. You get them both with this paddle. You get the power and you get the control at the same time. And it really, really does work. The power level of the new paddle is right about at the same level as the previous Selkirk Pro composite model, which was a pretty good powered paddle to begin with. So they really didn't need to up that at all. But what they did up in a big way is the control that you get with this paddle. No reason anymore to go to a graphite paddle to get that nice soft control, but then you give up the power. This one gives you a good amount of power, but you're going to be amazed at how soft this thing feels in the kitchen. Your dinks are going to be spot on. And I've been playing with this thing for the past 4 or 5 days. I've been logging a lot of time with it. And if you're a fan of this paddle, if you have any of the Selkirk similar paddles, you're going to adjust to it right away. There's going to be no break-in period needed. I was playing great with this thing right away. Can you tell I like it? I mean, it's just, the new technology is just unbelievable. I really have to give Selkirk a lot of credit. I know a lot of people are thinking, well, it's just a thicker paddle. Well, that's not all there is to it. I mean, this new FiberFlex surface, the new, you know, it's not just as simple as making a thicker paddle. Otherwise, other people would have done it already. They did it in a way that gives you everything that you need in a paddle. Let's talk about a couple more benefits of the thicker paddle. It's quiet. It's very quiet, and it's got a nice low register sound. I'll let you hear this for a second so you can compare. Now this is inside my living room, so it probably sounds a little bit loud. But you compare that to the old one. I don't know if you can tell the difference. I can, but it's got a nice sound to it. It sounds solid. It feels, the one word that I keep thinking of when playing with this is smooth. It just feels smooth. Everything feels smooth. Your shots feel smooth off of this thing. It's more stable. Your off-center shots are gonna react better to this because it's got a bigger sweet spot, and the thicker paddle holds up really nice when a ball hits it really hard. You got a little more meat behind the ball, and it's gonna keep the ball in play for you. And the softness of it really absorbs hard shots really well. So you're at the kitchen, somebody's blasting at you. You could just give it a nice soft touch. The ball absorbs into the paddle, and it won't go flying on you. You'll be able to just drop it right into the kitchen. And you know, the sweet spot just feels almost like the whole paddle. I mean, first few times I was playing with this thing, I really wasn't thinking about the sweet spot. But then I got home and I said, boy, I didn't miss hit a lot of balls tonight. I wonder if I was just, you know, on, or was it the paddle? And then, you know, the next few times playing with it, same thing. Very few mishits. So wherever you hit, you know, on the face of this paddle, it's gonna give you the intended response. So the sweet spot is really nice on this. It's large, it's soft, it dampens vibration. Any of you guys out there that have problem with, you know, you get some pain in your elbow right here, that's called tennis elbow. And the way this feels, it absorbs a lot of the shock of the ball. I mean, when you're out there playing for hours and hours, you're hitting an awful lot of balls. And every time you're hitting, it's sending shocks right up to your elbow. And this thing does a nice job of deadening those shocks. And it just feels soft all around, but it feels solid at the same time. The soft face also feels like it grips the ball a little better. So that will give you good spin, but it's not a grabby, rough texture, which is actually a good thing, because if you're playing somebody and they're spinning the ball at you and you got a rough textured paddle, that ball's going to spin out on you. Whoop, it's going to spin really quick. It's going to grab your paddle. It's going to spin out. This thing will neutralize the spin because it's a little smoother, but because it's soft and it seems to grab the ball, it will let you spin it as well. So it's doing both things for you. It's giving you the spin and it's deflecting the spin. I really don't know what more you could ask for from a paddle than this new amped series, this S2 model. Now this is my favorite model. We'll talk about some of the other ones, but if you have this one now, run and pick this up. Do not balk. This one is still a good paddle. It's a great paddle, but somehow they've managed to beat it. So yeah, it's all that. Let's talk about the Epic, which is the more traditional shape. This is the amped Epic. This is the ruby red color. Again, nice sharp graphics. These amped paddles will stand out. The minute you see them on the court, you're going to know that these are the amped paddles. They kind of have a quality about them and a color that you don't see in any of the other line. But this is the more traditional shaped paddle. If you don't like the shorter handle of the S2, now I love the shorter handle of the S2, and I'll explain why. This gives you just enough room for your hand, and now your hand is closer to the paddle. You also have a little extra real estate down here, which really helps with blocking. With this more, if you could see the difference, it's not much, but there is some. Now you have a longer handle on the Epic. This is the more standard handle. Here you have, let's see if we could line those up. You can see the difference there. It's not much. I guess it's about a ½ inch. But I feel like with the shorter handle, you have so much more control about, with the tip of the paddle, maneuvering this thing in the kitchen. When you have a longer handle, there's more play there. I told somebody, I used the example of when you paint with a paintbrush. You hold that thing down close to the tip to get good control. If you hold it way out on the end, you're going to be sloppy. Your painting's going to look terrible. So the short handle gets your hand snug up against the paddle. And for people that like to put their finger back here, I don't do that, but former ping pong players do that. This allows you to do it and also keep your hand at the bottom of the grip. This handle is the more traditional handle, so you'll have a lot of room on there. Some people like the traditional shape. If you used any of the previous Epic models, you'll feel comfortable with this right away. You get all the same benefits that I spoke about with the S2. All the same technology is in this paddle. You got the thick core, you got the same brand new surface, the FiberFlex fiberglass surface. You have the same core, the same X5 polymer honeycomb core. So all the great benefits are here. It's just a different shaped paddle, and that goes the same for the rest of the line. They're all pretty much the same surface, the same core, the same thickness, just different shapes depending on what you prefer. So it kind of makes it really nice. You're going to like all these paddles. You just got to figure out which one you like the best, what shape works for you. Let's show you the other ones right now. We got the Omni. Same model in the Omni. Like I said, same fiberglass surface, same core, same thickness, but in the Omni shape, which gives you an even shorter handle. Now this one is a little too short for me. Some people really like this because it's longer and it's more narrow, but the handle's a little shorter and I like a little more to my handle. But I played with this one plays really well. For those that like something for singles, maybe don't want to go to the real narrow shape yet of, like, say something like the Maxima, which I have here too. This one's a nice in-between step for you. It's not going to be that difficult to play with, and it's going to give you a little bit extra reach than your standard paddle. It's a little thinner, but it's not that difficult to play with. So if you like this shape, check it out. If you like the Maxima, this is the longest paddle you can buy. It's great for singles. Gives you a lot of torque with that extra length. You really get a lot behind your ground strokes. Ex-tennis players are really going to want to check this one out. And again, they all have the same technology. They all have that same fiberglass FiberFlex face. They're all going to do the same things that I talked about. All the great benefits you get with this new technology you're going to get in any of these paddles. It's just pick the shape that you like and don't look back. You're really going to like it. So whether you pick the S2 or the new Epic, I really think you're going to like these new paddles. I can't say enough good things about them. I was already happy with my Pro 1C, the prior one, but they really surpassed that one, and I see no reason to go back to that one. This Epic is just a great all-around paddle. This is one that you can give to anybody and probably can't go wrong with it. Just good, variety of characteristics. The S2 is my favorite, and that's about all I got for tonight. I'll be doing a more detailed review of the other paddles in the AMP series in the following weeks. So I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. Go check these things out. If you know me and you see me on the courts, ask me. I'll let you try out some of my demos. And we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.